Earlier this week, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced that 10% of air traffic was going to be cut at the nation's 40 largest airports. Now, while he blamed it on the shutdown and staffing shortages, it was pretty clear to people that this move was really an attempt to pressure Democrats to end the shutdown by leveraging air travel chaos as the way to do it. Now, Republicans throughout this shutdown keep coming up with different supposed ways and deadlines that they think they're going to be able to use to get Democrats to cave. First of all, they thought Democrats were going to cave on the shutdown before it even started. They didn't. Then they thought the No Kings protest was going to be when the Democrats caved on the shutdown. They didn't. Then they thought it was going to be when the Trump administration started laying off federal workers. That didn't work. Then they thought it was going to happen when they started cutting SNAP benefits for people. That didn't happen. Then they thought it was going to be after the election happened this past week and Democrats, walloped them. That didn't happen. And so Republicans keep trying to use these things and cause direct harm to the American people in order to get Democrats to cave on this. And it's not working. And they don't understand that yet. And so it's just the latest escalation that feels like it's going to drive the country further into chaos without actually getting to a solution to fix this shutdown and help the American people get access to their health care back, which is what this all started with. Now, I wanted to show you a little look on the ground of what this air travel chaos has looked like this week before we cut into all the crazy stuff Sean Duffy has said. So let's take a look at what the Houston airport lines for TSA looked like this week.
You guys, this is IAH Airport. There's one terminal for most of the checkpoints. Look, the line starts all the way down there and it's going all the way here. This is definitely more than 2 hours wait time. Please get here if y'all trying to catch a flight. Yeah, guys, that was just the outside. This is the inside. All this is one queue to one checkpoint.
So that was before all of this has even taken place. And if you'll remember, the last shutdown actually in 2018 and 2019 ended when flight cuts started creating so much air travel chaos that over the holidays that Americans went insane, and eventually the Trump administration had to cave on the shutdown because of it. So this feels a little bit like deja vu, and it does kind of beg this question of like, are we maybe entering the final chapter of the shutdown that Republicans have brought on themselves? I don't know yet, but Sean Duffy has had a very interesting way of discussing how he views these flight cuts. So I'm going to play that, but and it's just plain silly how he views this cut and what he thinks would make this cut a success in his head. Let's take a look.
Back to work, I asked the head of the Air Traffic Controller Union to reach out to his controllers, to ask them to show up. It is their jobs. If they start coming to work, we may have the same experience we had in Newark. We had delays and cancellations in Newark in the early summer. We reduced the capacity, and then the flights were on time, right? We had less cancellations, less delays. It was the most on-time months we had at Newark ever. So that could be an outcome of what we're doing. And we'll see probably more people on less flights, which means less pressure on control.
Sir, have you spoken to the president today?
I just love this idea of like, well, if we cancel all these flights, then they can't be late. And therefore, I'll be really successful at what I'm doing. It really is sort of just the Republican mindset in a sentence right now. Like, it's like if we cancel a flight, there's no delay. If we stop measuring food insecurity, then people must not be hungry. If we delete inflation data, then inflation must not exist. And if we don't have a jobs report, then I guess people can't be losing their jobs then. And if we stop testing for COVID, then there's no COVID in the world. Like, this is not governing. It's denialism, and it's pretending that a problem doesn't exist and hoping that Americans are too exhausted to notice. Duffy has also floated the possibility that, if this continues to go on, that 10% of flight cuts could actually become 20% in the coming weeks. So he says that this is probably going to get worse, and he's basically holding the public hostage for political leverage, and that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. It's also been interesting because Sean Duffy has actually had some statements the past couple of days where if you took them out of context, it would sound like he was giving them to Republicans, even though he's trying to direct them at Democrats. Take a look and just listen to what he has to say, and it really sounds like he's almost trying to subliminally message what he's saying to Republicans instead of Democrats. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
Let's open the government up. Let's pay our controllers and reduce the pressure. That's not happening. The Senate actually is going home this weekend. As many people here can't get home, the Senate goes home. They should be here every day, every weekend, every week trying to find a deal so we can open the government back up. I'm getting sniped at by some Democrats. I don't like it. I didn't put us in this situation. They did. And to those passengers that are upset, listen, call your Democrat senator. 14 times they voted no to open up the government.
I think he means call your Republican senator, but of course, he's a Republican. He's gonna blame it on the Democrats. But him saying, try to get into a room and try to make a deal. That is what Democrats have been asking for the past 5 weeks. They are begging Republicans to get into a room and work with them. They are begging the president to get involved and try to make a deal with them. They're the ones who won't talk to Democrats right now. The only people they will talk to is the press, because they think if they talk to the press enough that, public sentiment might turn for them, which it clearly hasn't. Poll after poll after poll shows that the American people side with the Democrats in this shutdown. They want their health care protected. They don't want their food assistance benefits cut. They're not happy with the Republican policies of the past year and the president passing a tax bill to give, tax breaks to the rich while people have all of their livelihoods made more expensive and cut. And so it feels like we're in this upside down right now because Republicans just have not gotten this in their head yet. And they keep trying to pretend like Democrats aren't the ones who want to play ball when the Democrats are pleading with them to get serious and to work on viable solutions with them, as opposed to, Republicans trying to fire a bunch of shots across the bow to pressure them into caving. That's not going to work. It is pretty clear at this point, but it's not going to stop Sean Duffy. There's one kind of very rich thing that he said in an interview he gave yesterday that I want to play for you. Let's take a look.
There's a very easy solution to the problem that they put directly on my lap, which is open the damn government. Yeah. Vote to open the government. So those who snipe at me for having to take really unique action, they put that on my plate. So open it up. And by the way, did anyone remember some of the last shutdowns? I was part of those. We stayed here for a month. I gained 10 pounds, I think, because I ate pizza and the junkiest food. But you sit here every weekend, every day, while the government is shut down, and your family's upset, your kids are annoyed.
Now, I think Sean makes a great point. The government is shut down, so all of our elected politicians should be in D.C., like he's asked for that. It's pretty interesting, though. Democrats are the only ones who have been in D.C. over the past 5 weeks. Democrats in the House keep coming back, even though Mike Johnson refuses to call the House back into session because, A, he claims they've done their job, which they haven't. And as we all know, he doesn't want to swear in Adelita Grijalva because he doesn't want to have to deal with the release and of the Epstein files and all of the pressure that's going to put on the GOP. But this whole idea of it's just so ironic for Sean Duffy to say, everybody needs to be in Washington right now. It's like, dude, your Speaker of the House is the one who won't bring people back into town. He's got them all on vacation and off on beaches places because he doesn't want to deal with the political reality that the Republicans are losing right now. And so if I agree with Sean Duffy on that, though. Why don't we get everybody back to D.C.? That would require Mike Johnson to do his job, bring people back, swear in Adelita Grijalva, and try to actually work on a solution to this shutdown. We're just getting to this point where people are fed up and they're just not buying into this craziness anymore because The Democrats don't have the power right now to cause the sort of pain that Republicans are. And so when Republicans are causing all of this, taking this cruel approach to trying to end this shutdown and trying to point fingers at Democrats for this, people are looking at the Republicans and saying, we're watching you. You're the ones who are doing this. The Republicans aren't, or sorry, the Democrats aren't cutting air traffic and cutting people's food stamps and laying off federal workers. They don't have the power to do that right now. Republicans do. And so people see through it this time. And the elections this week showed that. And the No Kings protest last month showed that. I think the longer that this goes on, the more voters are realizing that the Republican Party and Donald Trump have done everything in this shutdown but show logic and leadership. And they're over it. And they're over the hostage taking. And hopefully, I don't know what the line is going to be, but hopefully we are going to hit a point where Republicans start to see that too. That's it for me today. If you liked what you saw, throw a like on this video, follow the Dem Wins Media YouTube channel, follow me at buildingthebench.substack.com, and we will keep bringing you the news as you need to see it. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.